Hi, fellow shop rats. Welcome back. Today, here in the shop, we're back on the Stitches Challenger. We're picking up where we left off in our last episode. In our last episode, we had welded the driver's side frame rail in the car, finished all that up. We also welded in the subframe connector, and we got a few other little things done on the project. Today, we're going to get that under-seat floor pan finished and installed in the car. But by the end of this session, hopefully the rear end of this car has moved forward that much more and we're ready to start working on the passenger side. Lather, rinse, and repeat. All right, we could keep talking about it, but one thing I want to remind you about, everything we do here doesn't just apply to a 70 Challenger. Yes, we could buy all the parts to do this car, but we've chosen to do this as a fabrication project to demonstrate what can be done. Remember, just because I can buy the parts for this car doesn't mean that parts are necessarily available for what you're working on, and we can show you techniques and ways to do things so that you can actually build from scratch the stuff you need for your restoration. All right, let's stop talking, let's get into it. I'm Mike, and this is My Car's Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
Just like with anything else, before we can install this piece of fabricated floor, we need to determine exactly where we're going to do the joining, but we also need to come in here and clean a few things up. I think the best way to do that is probably going to be with the air chisel, so we'll get started with that, and then we'll determine what else we need to cut out and what we need to prepare to put this piece of floor pan in the car. So now we begin the fun of going through and determining what on this we're going to cut out and what we're going to leave. I think I'll start over here because that's pretty obvious. And we're good down. Let me make a mark. I need to split the difference between these two, but I don't want to come down too far down here because we got a bad spot. So I want to try to determine how far from here down I can go on this and still be in good metal. So I'll need to get a tapeworm to be able to do that. So that's one thing we need to do. But I want to go ahead and mark out other things while we're here. I want to bring over here down below this. So we need to figure that out. Make sure everything lines up where we had it. Okay. I need to make a mark here where this goes. I feel like I guess we're okay. Okay, this marker's not working the best, but a little bit caught right there. Okay. And then same thing in here. We'll need to determine exactly where we want that to be. We'll need to do the same thing here. This marker's not playing well today. But that gives us some ideas so that we know where we need to cut stuff to make it fit. So I know that I can, come down from here to here and try to blend that in with a little angle like that. We're gonna try to probably cut this back up in here. Of course, I want some overlap, so this will stay. We'll leave some of this down here, stuff like that. So we've just got trimming to do and some hammer and dolly work to do down here. But things are not bad. Take a peek here. darn thing. Just before. There we go. I think that's a good place to start. There maybe. I think what we'll do on some of this, we'll probably come in here and trim this across like this, somewhere in this vicinity. And of course we'll leave a little overlap. So we'll come like this. Like that. Because I want to be able to plug weld. And then we'll solid weld as well. It might be just as easy to come here and trim that up. I'm not sure. But I think we'll cut this over here. And again, leaving ourselves some overlap. We'll cut it like that. Gonna do a little grinder work there. Get that cleaned up a little bit. All right, got to get some tin snips and a cutoff wheel and just start going after it. Alright, so I've spent a ton of time trimming stuff up, and I need to get this trimmed up in here now. I think the best way to do that's just going to be by hand with a pair of snips, if I can find them. There they are. Just kind of taking a guesstimate here. So it fits really nice. I got an overlap. I got a little trim to do over there. I got to put a patch in here. The seat belt mount is bent and broken. Not broken, but bent. I have another one. I'll either pull this one out and replace it or pull this one out, straighten it, and put it back in. I like the way this is kind of fitting here. I need to decide if I'm going to put this back underneath. I could just slice it and slip it under. That would help pull things down a little bit better. But I think we're getting really close now to being able to install it. So yeah, we got to drill all kinds of holes to go along and plug weld. I want to go ahead and cut that crap out of there. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm liking the way this looks. I think as I think about it, because of the way this is built down here, I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and put that on top rather than messing with trying to get it underneath there. Not trying to be a purist, doesn't much matter. Decided to go ahead and put it underneath, so I had to trim this up. I'll overlap it here. It needs to be butted down in the corner over here, of course. It needs to go this way, just a Nova Scotia. And overall, we're getting there. It's looking really good. So I got to go around and mark all of the plug weld holes I want to do. We'll stitch weld it across here. We'll have to drill plug weld holes across here and then squeeze it all together to make it work. Probably go ahead and solid weld it anyway on that edge because I can. But overall, it's looking good. Just needs to drop down in there like that. And may do a little trimming right here just to give me a little space on that thing. Matter of fact, I will. But it's looking good. So next step is now clean up underneath this edge where we're going to be plug welding it. And get all the holes drilled all the way around, which I got to mark them. So little by little. of holes drilled all around. 2 things left to do, and then we can install it. It's kind of exciting. I'm going to go through and deburr all of this first of all on the back side so it doesn't interfere. And I got one little right there I got to cut off, and there's one little in the car I got to cut off. So we'll get that done, and a couple spots to clean up, and then throw some rust conditioner paint on it, and we'll be ready to weld this patch panel into the floor. I do have this seat mount right here. I got another one. I'll deal with that at another time. Easy peasy to fix that later. All right, I've got that corner cleaned up now, and it's rust conditioned, so that's very good. We may have to put some bolts through a couple places to pull things tight, but just before we weld it, but no big deal at all. So I think we're ready to fit that down in there. It's kind of exciting. Getting ready to put in a floor pan, eh? Yeah, there we go. Gonna get her in there. It's tack welded in place. Looking good, so we'll go ahead and get this solid welded here. Fill in all those plug welds. Get it in. It's looking good. Little squeezy wheezy I gotta do here. No biggie. Not bad. Not bad at all. Little fill we'll have to do there. No big deal. It's just stuff. It's really not a big deal. I think I got a little bit that just got to pull, just go underneath and knock that a little bit before I weld that area. But I think it's going to look good. I think at this point it makes sense to just go around with my broken off drill bit and get all those spot weld, plug weld holes cleaned up so that I can just go around and just blast this thing for, just get it done is what I'm trying to say. So we'll go around and get that done, and then we'll start filling the plug welds, and once that's done we'll go around the edges and solid weld, so it'll be double welded and very, very strong. Spotted in place. I want to go around and solid weld all the edges, which means I need to wire brush all that down. So a lot more welding to do, but it's a good step. A couple patches obviously we need to put in, but that's no big deal. So progress. We have a new floor pan. I guess that's actually the first floor pan to be welded in stitches, which is appropriate since this was the first floor pan that I made for stitches. So there you go. And I believe, yes, this was also the first frame rail that I made, so I guess we're kind of circling all the way back around. So it's time to take a lunch break, and then we'll be back out here and welding everything back in. Oh yeah. Man, am I glad that's done. Whew. Got a few little patches to do, but nothing major. Just that one spot where the seatbelt mount goes, and then around the back seat mount needs a little work. But overall, it turned out pretty good. You rip around that with some seam sealer, and it's going to look amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and blow this dry. I threw some high heat paint on it, but I'm going to go ahead and blow this dry and hit it with some standard satin black, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's solid and strong as a strong thing, and really, really happy with the way it turned out. So very, very, very good. So it's going to be lather, rinse, and repeat. Well, everything that we did on this side in the last 2 episodes has to happen over there. So probably like usual, I'll share it with you, but I won't go into grave detail. Anyway, you'll see what it is. So let's hit this with some satin black and then let it dry, and woohoo! One big job done. First floor pan back in stitches. Wow, I'm exhausted, but good job done. Lots and lots and lots of welding to get that in there, but well worth it. It's very strong. It looks really good. Couldn't be happier. So kudos. So lather, rinse, repeat on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and probably get this floor pan done right here at the same time, which is the footwell area, and it's progress. So we've got to get the quarter panel back off. You know, there's lots to do yet, but we're getting there. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm exhausted, and lots of other things I have to do yet today. So I appreciate you being here. We're on the Face thing. We're on your instant grandma /My Car's Shop. Oh, and yeah, that other thing. Don't forget about it. Rock!